I often doubt, why was colonization so quick to want to erase cultures with a restorative justice that actually held accountable while at the same time healing the feeling of brokenness, that held the person who had caused harm because that pain, so deep and anchored in their own identity, holds a belief that life's energy wants to make them dance on a song of destruction against the self and others. That link never severs. I often doubt. Our justice system alienates as a punishment, and in doing so, the pain and the harm spread. Because the victim, if they are not truly and properly held by community, will want revenge of their own victimhood eventually, certainly, well, at least it has been proven to be, by inflicting the same pain they were inflicted. This is a cycle, I know, but I often doubt. How did we learn that otherness was the biggest threat to our own existence? How did we learn to put everything on a scale, to be inferior or superior in order to ultimately feel worthy, to feel like we belong? Neocolonialism harms us all, no exception, and only a few benefit from it. I often doubt. How are we lied to so openly? And how are these lies accepted as reality? When seeing dystopian stories become our reality while making up every day our children's history. I doubt the point of it all, and I block myself from advancing. And then I witness a being connecting with another, feeling their whole humanity, creating, communing. In those moments, those glimpses of home, something familiar arises. I do not feel like a stranger in this world, nor a worker or a consumer in the system, but a connector, because I can feel. I stop numbing, I stop doubting. I remember. Our feelings are our most genuine path to knowledge, Audre Lorde said. Is it simply to see our bodies as home, to see every child as we would our own, to see Earth as our temple, to see the world as a circle, one whole, an ecosystem, and not a pyramid where the ego screams to dominate in order to take its place because it thinks it is the only way to belong? May all the children of the earth be embraced through our human eyes one day. We are family, and we are home in these bodies. Our bodies may be battlefields, but our heart, earth, haven't you heard? Our hearts are the winners. Every time they win. Because at the end of each life, it's the love we remember, the one we received, the one we forgot, the one we seek, the one we gave, the one that comes back like a flash when our life ends. All this matters. When we were, for this ephemeral existence, matter all along. Why did I doubt so often? A tree can only exist, can only grow as high as the roots grow deep. This interconnected harmony, symbiosis with life happens underground, where we do not see, we cannot touch. And that enables a whole world on the surface in the light to exist and also be in connection. The birds, the wind, the insects, the mushrooms. For humans, it's the same. And a tree is such a beautiful analogy because you can see how you see one of these trees and you think it's a unit, when actually it's because of this interconnectedness that we do not see. Everything is happening, always moving, always changing. That's how life is possible here on Earth. We have many words for this. We have the trunk, the roots, the branches, the leaves. So with words, we have divided a tree up in different parts. But actually, a tree is just one and is here because of everything else, but is also a whole world of its own. It will be able to be the house for birds, or will be able to give fruits for animals and for us. It will be able to decompose itself and then transform for another season. Words scare me because many people use the same wording but say really different things. There's another intention behind it. And I come back to writing, for example, when I really feel down. I really feel like something in me doesn't want to advance. I actually find solace in words. By writing, I find solace in reading. And yet words scare me, and I also know that if I were born in another culture, then maybe language would be a very unifying experience, because sometimes I see myself block when I want to make these videos because the words have such a limitation. English or French, the language that were taught to me, since they are languages of colonizers, then of course, if that programming in the mind was happening and that justification to separate oneself from other human beings because of differences and from the natural world and the dominance that carries a lot of weight in justifying any action of destruction, because in a way it is self-destruction first. If we are destroying our home, the planet, it's because we are destroying ourselves, whether we want to believe that or not. There's a way that we have been programmed to do that. If a person feels supported by this whole cosmos and earth and love, then they would want to do anything else than to be in reverence to this here, to oneself, to anything that appears outside of oneself, because this is much too precious. But as we all know, we can be very, very afraid in our bodies after trauma and not feel home in oneself, and so not recognize the outside world as our home, and that all of these very natural signals of fear and of danger in the body to advance, well, we see that in other people, we see that in divisions and fights and conflicts, and the only way to survive is to have the most money or the most power or dominate the most. That's a very, very scary place to be and to feel. And I'm also someone who feels that. I mean, I'm not shielded from that way of thinking. I was born into it in some degree. You're hearing words, but you're also feeling my intention behind it, and you can discern and always trust what your heart feels and knows. And when I say your heart, it's not the heart of Hollywood, it's your heart. It's not the heart of what we say is a human being, but it's the heart of Earth's heart, and our heart is very much linked, is very much the same. So coming back to the wording, we can say that there's two distinctive energies. We could say light and darkness, because there's literally day and night. But we have put an association of bad with darkness. When coming back to the tree, the roots are not bad, and it's not even completely distinctive from the tree itself. It is a whole other ecosystem, a whole other experience, other inhabitants in the roots, but it is the same tree. And so day and night, it's the same thing. Everything that is here, even myself, even yourself, is because there's day and night depending on the seasons. One will be longer, one will be shorter, depending on where you live on the globe. In this wholeness, we have so much discourses on we have to be the light, we have to be goodness, whether that be Christianity or New Age spirituality, or even in a very secular way of thinking, the right thing to do, the good thing, or being in the light or in the love. And we actually want to feel whole. And I always try to come back to a place where there are many squirrels in the forest. We're all coming from a place where we're hurt somewhere. And that's also something that's very strong, because when you're hurt inside, then you understand someone else's hurt. But it's when you give the care that you need in yourself that you can also give the care to another. I come back to the light and darkness analogy. We were a blob, a mush in the womb, in the body that carried us to come here on earth. So we were in the darkness at some point, and then we saw the light, and in this light there's light and darkness, and there's such a need for everyone to feel whole, to come back to being whole. And I found this beautiful storyteller, because storytelling is one of our essences. It's how we understand the world, and whether we are aware of it or not, we're always telling stories. You can look at the media and flip the channels, and you're gonna hear two very different stories, and people who gather around a story and a narrative and carry out their actions in the world. So we really are creatures of stories, and this account has brought a lot of hard truths and serenity and lightness in my world. Veronica Lightning Horse Perez, and I will let you hear a story that she tells about the black and the white wolf, and how we often know the story of it's the wolf that you feed the most that will be present the most in you. But that's actually a distortion. That's actually half of the story. And she asked the question in the beginning of the video saying, do we know this story because people stop listening to it halfway through? And so that's what they're telling others? Or is it told in this way because it creates an imbalance in our world? So I invite you to continue this video because it's not finished yet, to listen to her video about the white and black wolf inside of you, the two wolves inside of you, to actually come back to knowing that you are the tree. You have many names to describe many different parts of yourself, and you live in the lightness and in the darkness. You are one, knowing that we are whole, that we are home, that we are love. And it creeps me out that a president that is quite fascist even uses this word love, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop using it. Okay, have a beautiful, colorful moment of life wherever you are, because all colors are on the spectrum of Earth experience, and if you're here, then voila.